You're wondering how to use the Eufy S1 Pro wearable breast pump, then stick around, as in this video I'm going to walk you through its different components and how to set up and use the Eufy S1 Pro. So let's get started and take a look at the different components that make up this wearable breast pump. So to start with, we have your pump motor. Now this is the brains hub of your pump. This is what creates and drives your suction. You then have your flange. So this is where your nipple sits. The pad sits against your breast. It creates a suction as well as cushioning for your pump. You then have your diaphragm and there's a duckbill valve. You then have your milk collector cup, which is where all your milk collects once you have started pumping. Okay, so how does this all go from that to this? Pretty easy, really. There's very minimal parts. So first you're going to want to take your duckbill valve and place it in this circular slot at the bottom of your collection cup. Now it simply pushes in. Once you've got it in place, give it a little pull to make sure it's in properly. I like to make sure that the flat face is in line with the base of the collection cup. Then you're going to want to take your diaphragm and slot that into the top of your collection cup. Now you will see on here that there is a flat side and one with a dimple in it. The dimple faces inwards. So we simply push that in, make sure it is nice and firm. Then you are going to want to take your flange and connect that to your collection cup. So you'll see here that it has a circular piece that slots in with the base here. So you can see that is nice and lined up. You want to then make sure that the little top part opening fits in with your pouring spout, and make sure that you have this piece here nice and pushed through. That is what connects your pump motor to your heating pad sensor. So you are then going to want to slightly lift up. You can see on the side here that there is a lip for your collection cup to slot in. You are just going to want to push that nice and firmly around. Now, you do need to push quite firmly. It is a very sturdy flange, so make sure that you have this nice and pushed in all the way around. If you have any gaps, that's where you start to see leaks or potentially suction issues if there's any air gaps. So I love to run my fingers around at the end to make sure that is all nice and secure. Once that's in place, again, make sure you just give that little sensor an extra push in, make sure it's nice and firmly in there. You're going to want to take your pump motor. You can see that there's a slot here that fits with your diaphragm opening, and you can see the connector points here that line up with your heating pad, and you simply slot that into place and clip it down. And that is your completed wearable pump. Now, before using this, for the first time, you're going to want to wash and sterilize it. You can sterilize this by boiling it or with a steam sterilizer for 5 minutes. However, you cannot use a microwave sterilizer. You may also want to use something like a Milton solution, which again makes sterilizing really easily. Okay, once you have sterilized your pump, your hands are nice and clean, we're going to want to place it on our breast. So you simply centrally line up your nipple with the inside of the flange and place it on your breast and then secure it with a pumping bra. Now, I should have probably mentioned first, You also need to make sure that this is the correct flange size for you. So this comes as a standard 24 millimeter. There is also a larger option for a flange at a 27 millimeter. And if you are smaller than either of those, your kit comes with a set of flange inserts. Now these are a 21, a 19, and a 17 millimeter flange insert. And what this does is it reduces this tunnel size from a 24 millimeter down to whatever size you have chosen. So in this case, a 17 millimeter flange insert, you simply slide that in, and now that diameter of the flange tunnel has been reduced. So insert this prior to using if you need. So your pump is now on and secure in place. We're going to want to turn it on. Now, I won't go through in this video in how to use the app. I will link to that here. So you can either use this pump via the app or via your control panel. I highly recommend using the app with this. It is a lot more discreet, as you don't need to be reaching into your bra to turn your pump on and off. It is also really great because it has a ton more features and settings. There are 4 different modes or pumping rhythms within there. You can set your pumping cycle speed. You can also set an automatic timer that switches off after your preset time. You can also add a timer for the heating pads. So there is a lot more functionality in the app. Like I say, check out the video on how to use that. But if you are wanting to use your pump just with the modes that we have here, let's go through it. So you have your power on button. You hold that in to turn your pump on and off. A quick tap will turn on the pause or pause off. You then have this button here, which is for switching between your modes. The little waves that you can see here is your stimulation mode. Now this is for initiating your letdown. They are short, sharp suctions. And then you can switch over to the droplet, which is your expression mode. Now these are longer, drawn out suctions for drawing out your breast milk. You then have a plus or minus button, and you can adjust the suction strength of your pump. I do highly recommend starting at a 2 or a 3 and then working your way up till you find something that is comfortable and also gives you a great output. So there are 7 different suction levels that you can choose from. Then you have your button here, which is for your heating element. Now, when this is turned on, you'll find that the top half heats up behind or within the flange itself is a heating pad. This can be adjusted in the temperature within your app, but as well, when you have this on, you can lower, you got to touch that first, and it'll be the red. You can reduce the temperature or increase it. Now it goes up to 105 degrees Fahrenheit or 41 degrees Celsius, and as low as 35 degrees Celsius. So you do have a decent range for adjusting this. You can also hold it in and it will turn that feature off. You just touch it and it will turn that feature off. Now this L and R, you don't need to worry about this if you are just using your pump with your manual mode settings. The L and the R are for left and right when you are using the app, and that is so you can track your output. You can also adjust each pump individually or sync them for when you're using the app. Once you have done your pumping session, you want to lean forward. First you're going to turn off your pump. Then you are going to want to lean forward, break the seal, and then gently remove your breast. You don't want to just pull at it because that's going to pull your nipple and be quite painful. So once you have broken the seal, remove your pump. You're then going to simply, mine's a bit tight because it's new. I can't even remove it. You're going to want to remove your pump motor. I did make that look a little bit harder. And then use your pouring spout to transfer your milk into your storage container. Once that's done, you're going to want to pull it all apart and wash or sterilize your pump parts ready for your next use. Now, the great thing with the S1 Pro is when it comes to recharging. Now, it comes with this awesome charging case. So once your pump is clean, sterilized, and ready for your next use, you want to just pop it on charge. Now it comes with its flange covers, so I recommend using those. Keep it nice and clean, and simply ignore that. You can't use those when you're recharging. You simply pop your pump into the charging case and you'll see the light turned on, and that then indicates that your pump is now charging. On the back of this, you can see there is a USB spot. There is also a power button to turn this on and off. If you don't want to use your charging case with your pump, you can just use the magnetic charger. It's a USB. And charge these without the carry case. So if you have only bought the S1, not the S1 Pro, you can charge it with the cable directly, or you can use the cable to charge your carry case. Now, the carry case, they will last for up to 5 days depending on your usage. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions on how to use your Eufy S1 Pro, then please ask and I will do my very best to answer them. Cheers.